What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Runners Club podcast. Happy to have you.
Wait.
I'm your co-host.
Why your voice do that? Why did your voice just do that? Y'all, she did not sound like that 2 seconds ago. Why did your voice just do that? Wait, do it one more time.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Runners Club podcast. I'm your co-host, Courtney Phillips.
This is Gonzalez. You already know.
Yeah, don't do me like North did Kim, please. I know I have my recording voice.
Wait, what you talking about?
North was talking about, she was telling her mom, like, why does your voice sound like that every time you do an Instagram video? Hey, guys.
That just threw her mama all the way under the bus.
Completely.
I need some black tape right here because they not paying us money for sponsors.
Yeah, but how does your voice sound though?
Y'all let me know. How am I sounding right now? Like, is this way better? Like, niggas is slowly leveling up the sound right now. Word to Jeremy, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Gumbo that came through with the fire mics, nigga.
Constantly on the upgrade. So yeah, welcome back, y'all. We're just doing a quick little intro warm up real quick because we have a guest today. And honestly, having Aaron last week was great. I love having guests. I just want everybody on.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear.
Other than that, it's like a therapy session for us. Right.
And I'm like, how often do they do? Right. Maybe once in a while, but let's talk about some other runners. Yeah. Well, just real quick, how you feeling?
I'm feeling beautiful. I'm a beautiful 33 this week. You feel me? Birthday just passed. You know?
April 5th.
Yeah. So that's been really nice. The birthday day was kind of chill, kind of slow. My birthday party, I guess, which is weird for me to say, is this weekend. You know, Karen kind of put it together, got all the homies together and everything. So I'm really excited about that. But she got me this really wonderful gift. She knows I love tools. And I got an Apple Pencil for my iPad.
The way he is showing it off like he's in show and tell right now.
Hey, like, oh my God, like I've been like writing my notes, and then like you can do the little pen option where the handwriting turns into like text. Like I was in my little business class yesterday getting down on the notes. I did a whole, like, I don't even know if you've seen it, but we having a meeting, me and Courtney having a meeting on Friday. I done did like a whole ass like pre-meeting, like and document and stuff like that. Like I've just been having so much fun.
The tools inspire.
Yes. Handwriting is so much better than typing for my mental thoughts flowing. You know what I'm saying? So being able, because I hate trying to keep up with a notebook. Also, I'm left-handed, so smudging is real. So having this digital notebook right here, having this pen, being able to write with it is amazing. And yes, I'm going to talk the entire time with my pen in my hand like this.
Yeah, no, you're talking with purpose right now with that pen.
It's amazing. I'm really loving it. But as nice as this is, all the ingenuity and the technological advances Apple put into this pen, the real treat was my birthday card. That was the real treat.
What's it say?
So if you're watching on YouTube right now, because
you're a real, supporter, follower,
you feel
part of the Runners Club gang.
If you listening, I appreciate it. If you're getting these miles, keep going. Don't stop. I know I just shocked you with the fact that now you got visuals for us. You feel me? But later, go back, slide in. I think we like 5 minutes into this. Check out my birthday card that Karen got me.
I'm looking at two not Dobermans. I need to get out of the idea because I have a Doberman. 2 golden retrievers.
Yes. It reads, "Happy birthday to my forever by my side guy." And the reason this is really interesting, and even if I read the inside of it, it's really cute, really heartwarming. But she kind of realized after buying it and reading it and starting to sign it that this might be a card that two men would give each other.
Oh. I mean, they're in like baseball caps sitting on those lounge chairs that you pop out at like a concert or at your campsite.
Like it's mad gender neutral, but also like it looked like buddies. But this is definitely like a I love you card. You know what I'm saying? Like I love you card. You feel me? Like I wouldn't buy this for my homie, but if my homie was also my nigga, like yeah, this is the card that I would give him. But so I am gay for Karen, and that's fine. So I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Actually, I am going to read it. I am going to read it because I love this. I love being loved. It's awesome. It says, no, I'm not going to read it. Never mind.
Okay. Well,
that was too much. You should have stopped me. Why didn't you stop me? Don't let me do that. Don't let me go too hard because you know where I am in my life right now. The honeymoon phase is real. I would turn this into a whole nother podcast. Don't let me do it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pause us here while we welcome in Kayla and start the interview.
Okay.
And then maybe if you listen to the end, we'll read the card.
Right. The card will be read at the end. Okay. You got to make it all the way. You can't skip through.
All the way to the end. Okay. We're back just like that. And we now have Kayla with us. Hey.
Hello. What's up, y'all?
I feel like she has like that name that you say the first and last name all together, like Kayla Jeter. You know
Period.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? 5-time world champion Kayla Jeter, right?
Boop. Playing sports, I've heard it that way. Only my first and last name together, like my whole life. But when I got into a professional setting, I heard my name and I was like, whoa, like just Kayla. And I was like, who is that?
Like, I don't know this.
Who are you speaking to?
Right. Who are you referring to?
All right. Well, Kayla Jeter. You know what I'm saying? Miss Kayla Jeter, Miss Health and Wellness Coach extraordinaire. You know what I'm saying? Miss putting it down everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you feeling today?
I'm first grateful to be here. Super excited to connect with both of you. I feel like over the past year, I've gotten to know you each separately. So to be together and have this conversation is super special. So thanks for having me. This podcast is lit. And I see it all the place on Instagram. I'm like, dang, now I'm a guest. I feel so honored. I feel like this is my initiation to like Chicago and Chicago Run. So thank you.
Oh my God.
Wow. Yes. The honor is ours. Honestly, you've been at the top of our list since we started the podcast. So don't know why it took us so, we've just been finding our groove. That's and cool. I think this is the perfect time because one, you recently did the speed project, but I don't want to jump straight to that. But I just, when you were doing that and we could feel your energy through the screen, through our social medias, because we weren't there. It's like, we needed to have you on and we wanted that, like the vibes of like, I did it. Right. And so I don't know, like we could take this, I feel like we need to know more about you though, and your experience with working out and being an athlete and just like kind of how you even found yourself to like this moment.
Yeah. I mean,
yes. Yeah. I'm also a little pressed that you're not wearing the Speed Project glasses right now. I was kind of
those are hot. The Oakleys. She pulled out the Oakleys. And then she made sure.
I was waiting for.
That's when you know it's serious.
No personal appearances without at least having the glasses and then removing them.
I mean, I have arrived. They'll be making a moment all summer, so they'll be around. And we'll actually get into that as far as preparing for that and what to get. So yeah, how have I arrived to this moment? That's such a long story, I feel like, but I'll try to keep it as short as possible. So I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, born and raised. And my sport by trade or movement by trade is volleyball. I grew up playing volleyball since I was in 7th grade and played through high school, went to college at the University of Tennessee, played there, played overseas in Finland, and then coached for 2.5 years at the University of Cincinnati. So volleyball and performance movement, explosive movements has been my thing since I was younger. The court's 30 feet. So the fact that I run long distance miles right now is become an identity crisis up until really 2 weeks ago. Like, who are you? All my volleyball friends are like, you're choosing to run. I'm like, yes, it's happening. Man. It's happening. But my dad played professional sports. So he played professional football. He played for the Rams, the Patriots, and Giants. He went to USC. So I have been an athlete, and it's been in my DNA since I was
the pedigree is on point right now. You know?
Yeah.
So what position did you play in volleyball? Were you spiker?
Yes, spiker. I was an outside. I was the shortest hitter on my team at Tennessee. Everyone else was easily over 6'1".
Okay, you have to be as tall as the net to be competitive. That's how they be looking at it.
It was like a group of y'all?
A group of Kaylas.
But taller, and then we're all going out in college in heels. So the average height's like 6'3" out on the strip in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh my God.
It was a good time. But
wow.
But yeah, so I've always leaned into my expertise being an athlete and feeling strong in that, right? So this is before being fit was cool and trendy and all over social media. I in middle school had biceps and quads, and I always be teased for being built like a boy, oh, are you going to go in the weight room with the boys? And so when this whole fitness industry really exploded and, being strong became sexy, at first I was kind of y'all used to drag me so much when I was little, but then also I'm ahead of the game. So here we are.
Right. Because Kayla and I had lunch a few weeks ago, and she was like, I've been in the gym. Y'all talk about my legs, but I've been in the gym. This is years and years and years of growth. Okay. I'm like, yeah, totally. Yeah. Girl, I know I'm behind you. I know. I'm just...
yes. We are all...
Every day, I just 1% better. You know what I mean? I'm trying.
I see you out there, though. You're getting it. Both of you. I see y'all.
Me and Aaron have had conversations about, wow, what is she... we've been trying to figure out, what are you doing? So, I want my legs to look like that. I want my shoulder to look like that. It's... You are an ideal, strong athlete. It's
across the board.
Just amazing. So, and then it was watching you come into the sport of running, and it looked, I don't know how much effort you actually put it in, but watching you run across the Blue Bridge your first day, hearing you talk about it, but then actually doing it, I was like, oh no, this ain't just for show. This ain't just for the gram. This is functional strength at work. She's moving. You've been killing the Blue Bridge since day one.
Right.
Blue Bridge has become my happy place for so many reasons. One, the community that y'all 7 on Sundays have created and Gumbo Fit has created that shows up there is so it's so much love. And everyone's there really just to... I think more so to be with each other than to get in a workout. The workout's the added benefit, right? And so creating a space and an activity that I really think speaks to people from all levels, from me playing volleyball, the court's 30 feet. So sprints, uphill sprints, done. You know what I mean? I can do that. And, having people who may not feel as comfortable running longer distances, being able to come up on the bridge and walk and, it's been such a transition coming from an identity, honestly, physically being an explosive athlete and then getting into distance running. It's been a lot of humbling conversations with myself. It's been a lot of, you have to train for the long game and not train just to be explosive. And when I did Hood to Coast last fall, I'd been running all summer, and that was the first year I really was consistently running. So I've been doing, 100 miles a summer, which is just May 1st, August 31st, 100 miles. And when I first started it 5 years ago, it was really just a way to get to know Chicago by foot and explore different neighborhoods and meet people and find great food. But I never really committed to consistent running. There's this run group and that run group. So last year was my first time, and after Hood to Coast, I was so excited. I just had been running all summer, but not training to run all summer. And I think it's really important, which I feel y'all know in your experience. It's I think a lot of people pick up running to get in shape, but you got to be in shape to run. And when I got done with Hood to Coast, I pushed my body way too far. I couldn't run for 2.5 months. I got injured. And in that moment before going to the speed project, I was like, okay, if I'm going to continue to run, I have to change the way I train. I can't be this explosive, flipping tire, dragging sleds, pushing all this weight, and then like running 7 times a week with no plan. It just, my body can't maintain both.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So,
right.
Because I just want to go back real quick. Because I have a lot of questions still. So, but can we just go back to Finland real quick?
Yeah.
Because I before we take this story all the way to like now, like you were a hitter, you went to Finland, you've played professionally. Like, I'm assuming you've won championships. I'm assuming you've like had an experience as an athlete you've been a successful athlete.
Yeah. So totally. Let's pull it back. I think my mindset now is shaped by my volleyball career, right? So I played at Tennessee, where I was an All-American there, and I had SEC championships and had a really successful career being the athletic kid. And I put quotes around it because I feel like volleyball is a privileged sport as far as travel. So I was definitely at a benefit being athletic, but my skills weren't developed kind of like I feel like wide receivers and quarterbacks until I got into like my pro years. And I tore my ACL in college. So I tore my ACL in my senior year. That previous summer, I was training with the USA team. They had like a college group that went together. And then that fall, I tore my ACL. It was my first injury I've ever had my entire life. And I'd been in the gym when there was injuries. So as soon as it happened, I already knew what it was. And my coaches would always tell me like, Jeter, you're so strong. You'll never get hurt. You know what I mean? And kind of like building this idea of like, I can take reps. My nickname in college was Workhorse, which is why on the Blue Bridge, I just go to work. Cause like, that's me just like, I can rep that out. You know what I mean? Right. And so having to come back from injury and then go play overseas, which was my first season post-injury, was a really interesting space as far as living in a foreign country, playing volleyball in a Euro style way. So it's way more strategy than it is power, because you're playing against like 30-year-olds who can't jump as high, hit as hard, but they're way smarter. But within that, having to learn how to adapt and find success. So we won our championship when I was in Finland. I got a couple MVPs. And then when I coached at Cincinnati, I actually coached and now USA volleyball team member Jordan Thompson. And I was a playing coach there, which was a ton of fun. So I got to play every day. I got paid to coach and play and practice. And then within that, I was in charge of our player development and some of our strength training as far as how to keep that functional movement for volleyball players to still find success.
And so then at what point did you actually pick up running?
Okay. So throughout my life, like I would turn to running as some type of escape, right? So when I'm younger and I'm mad at my mom for not letting me go to a party, I'm going for a run, I'm just going outside. And then in college, it was definitely used as a form of conditioning and punishment. So didn't really have a touch point there. When I lived overseas, we could run through the forest. So like run has like always been some type of escape for me to some capacity. And it really wasn't until I moved to Chicago, where I started 100 miles a summer living in a city. I didn't have a car, but I knew like Chicago was an awesome place to live, really wanted to check it out. And I would just get outside. So I was like, all right, I don't have any experience running longer distances at the time. Like 3 miles was at one time. I was like, you know what I mean? And this was 5 years ago. And
so you started 100 miles of summer 5 years ago.
Okay. 5 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
Which is crazy because it started on like my Fitness Pal, Map My Run. It started on Map My Run. There was 12 people who signed up and it got super competitive. And I was crushing myself trying to run 7-minute miles, like for 3 miles at a time. And I was like, and I'm used to like just sprint everything out. And it really took the third year, 100 miles a summer, which was lockdown year. Yes. We're all inside. I transitioned. I think it really dawned on me. One, I was running my first half marathon that fall. I was running Seaweeds, which is Lululemon's virtual. At that time, it became virtual half. And I learned how to run and enjoy the run. So I was working with someone and she was like, okay, if you're going to run distance, what pace do you want to go at? I was like, I just don't want to feel like I'm dying. Like, I don't know what that means. And she's like, let's start at like 9:30. Like, and you just pay attention to that. And when I first got into running as it is for enjoyment and actual training, I had to slow myself down a lot. I was running too fast.
Yeah.
All the time.
I think that's a pretty common.
Yeah.
That's a pretty common thought process to runners when they first get into it, or people who don't just think about running, who don't run at all. It's like, you think running is about going and moving as quickly and as you can. And that's not what the sport of running is about. It's like you get in there, you take your time. Like I tell a lot of people who say, oh, running 3 miles is so tough for me. It's the hardest thing. I cannot do it. I tell them the first thing that you should probably do is slow down. I guarantee you think you're not running fast, but you're running too fast for you.
Right.
And you need to slow down, and you'll move longer in a running phase than you think you will.
I couldn't agree more, because I mean, you think about, I feel like when I had seen you watch, distance runners, whether it's in marathons or in the Olympics or just people out running in the street, and they look like they're they are moving, but everyone looks like they're moving. You know what I mean? So you, in your mind, feel like you have to be moving. And they're like, wait, I'm not there yet. I can't move that fast and keep my lung capacity at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And it's something too that, like, not only do you learn it at some point when you're beginning to really dive into running, but then you have to remind yourself so many times over in any moment where you've decided you want to train for something, or if you just want to go for a run, like, your pace is always a consideration, because even people who are at elite, sub-elite, like, we hear them talk about running too fast still. Yeah. Like, recovery runs are still ran too fast. So it's like, slowing down, I think, seems to be the thread within running that, like, then gets so easily tied to life, because we then carry that same energy into the activities we do outside of running. And most of the time, the answer is slow down if you're stressed, slow down if you feel like you're just doing the most,
Yeah. A little extra tip, because I know, there's some people who starting to train for the upcoming Bank of America 13.1 half marathon. You can pull up just about any article where it's talking about pacing and it's talking about training, and all of them will say, from the top coaches, top runners, all the way down to our level, is that when you're training, either you're running fast or you're running slow. If you're running in the middle, you're not really going anywhere. It's not really benefiting you for your training. You're not going to get better and stuff. You have your speed runs where you're running close or at threshold, or you're running your recovery or your long runs, which should be at a lot slower pace than what you want to do for a race day and stuff like that. So keep that in mind, that middle zone, like, you want to stay away from that. Keep it either high or low. But speaking of training,
I think about sorry, really quick, I just want to speak on the recovery piece, because I think it's something, like, we've all mentioned, is meant to be recovery. It's meant to be slow. It's meant to be refueling, recharging. And Courtney, to speak to what you said, as far as those slow runs transitioning into life and moving at a pace that's slower, that's so tough. And I think that's perhaps a separate conversation around rest and keeping up and things moving 100 miles per hour and trying to feel like you're still making progress, even though you're slowing down. It's like this constant dance. But I saw the Kipchoge documentary, one of the many great ones, and he just talks about run being like this meditative space. And when I feel like when I'm in a good stride, like, that's how it feels. It doesn't not feel effortless, but it doesn't feel like a struggle. And so finding the rest and the pace within those days are your recovery days helps you understand what that feels like. And then as I have transitioned deeper into training, I can, like, feel that when my pace starts to feel like it's in a good spot, it still feels like I'm at ease.
Yeah. I mean, well, I love that point. And I also, it makes me just think about how you took everything that you've learned through, these, like, all the experience that you've had with running and being an athlete into being being a coach on Weight Watchers or WW, being a like leading a run club out of Soho House, being a Lululemon ambassador. Like, I want to know, like, how has that informed the choices you've made on, like, you know, brands that you've aligned yourself with or opportunities that you've been able to use to, like, continue coaching? Because, like, it sounds like you do enjoy coaching as much as I've also heard you say that you don't want to do, like, one-on-one training really as much. So, like, tell us, like, how you kind of have converged into a career of community.
But okay.
Everyone wants to look like you, but you're so inaccessible, you know, but it's like, that's part of the game. I get it.
So inaccessible.
It's, honestly, and the reason behind not being so open to one-on-one training, there's two. One, it's still my personal space to recharge and to be in those spaces of autopilot. You know, I can come in a gym, close my eyes, and go through a workout and get that release that I need. And two, it's my bandwidth. Like, I'm unless people want to get up at 5 a.m., which people don't, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm stretched in so many different ways. But that's where I'm like, look, we could do this in a group setting if I have access to a gym with a group of, you know what I mean? But even group, like, no more than 5, because I like to be hands-on. I like to provide really good information and good detail and make people feel seen and supported, which has definitely led me to where I am now. It's probably one of my favorite questions I get is, you know, how did you end up working, you know, with WW as a behavior change coach, with Lululemon as an ambassador, all these opportunities? And honestly, like, it was God engineered. It was above me. Like, I couldn't 3 years ago even imagine where I am now. I couldn't even roadmap it. I couldn't. But what I could always do, or at least commit to, is looking at opportunities that came to me, evaluating whether or not they resonate with what I believe in and what I stand for and what, you know, lights me up, and is an opportunity then to create greater access, perspective, or shift the narrative, right? So before I started working for WW, I was at Northwestern as a project manager with, like, patient data. So looking at Chicago from a lens of health data and all the inequities and disparities and inequalities, and, you know, what research can then fuel government funding, essentially. And so at the same time, I guess, moved here in 2017, 2019. So go back, 2017, 2016, my dad passed away unexpectedly from a heart attack. My mom had cancer in 2012. That came back in 2016 and then spread to her brain in 2019. Okay. And when I was at Northwestern working in patient data and hearing about, you know, the disproportionate amount of chronic illness and cancer that affected the Black community, I was like, what can I do? Like, how can I show up? And knowing at that time, I wasn't with Lululemon, I wasn't doing anything coaching standpoint, but at least could share my experience and help people then maybe decide to take action in their own health and wellness. So when WW came around, I was like, great. I very much believe if we can't get to a gym, if we are too afraid to, you know, go for that walk or run, we at least can start with changing the way we move in the world. So that's behavior change science, right? It's the way that habits are created or broken based off of human psychology. And my job as a coach, which I just answered on my story recently, WW itself is rooted in tracking and food, right? What do you eat to lose weight? Great. My role as a coach, and I've said this plenty of times to my team and my members of WW, is not just to give you the fish, but to teach you how to fish. I want you to learn when you're in the setting, how to navigate that setting versus, like Coach Kayla said, pick the grilled chicken, not the fried chicken, but why? And how do you navigate that choice? Right. So when it came to Lululemon also, it's like, yes, I want to create a space where it's inclusive and people feel seen and supported and can move their bodies. But I also want people to come and get something out of it that empowers them to, like, take care of themselves in the world. So the Run Club isn't just to run, like, we're goal setting, we're reflecting, we're looking at where we can build habits. So then it becomes a catalyst to be well.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn. Well, I mean, I'm sorry to hear about your parents. And I have a friend, her name's Charlotte, and she is a yogi, and she also studies like grief. And so whenever she's like getting a master's and I don't know the proper word, but part of it is like understanding grief and how you can use it, and also how like it never ends.
Yeah.
And it's never going to go away. And so it just evolves kind of. And so to see you be able to speak about, that honestly, like your parents honestly, and then also use it as a instrument to inspire your future, career is really inspiring.
Thank you.
And so, yeah. And I think like, I think it's something that everyone should to tap into, because it's part of your why.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I love that you said that it's part of your why and it doesn't define you, because I think there's a fine line there. And for me, I think about my mom and dad sacrificed so much that, and again, grief is a journey. Everyone experiences differently in their own time.
Yeah.
But for me to sit and play the woe is me, my parents would haunt me forever. They'd be like, we didn't raise you to do any of that. Like, we didn't raise you to to be mopey and sad. And like, you know what I mean? Like, we love you. We're always with you, but like, we raised you to shine in this world, and you have to do that. And I think it can be I think it's a slippery slope between making your, trauma as using it as fuel, as an instrument to then inform how you move in the future and make better decisions, or like letting that define who you are and being stuck there, which can be tough.
Yeah. So, okay. Are you currently leading your run club at Soho still? Because I remember it was last year, but I haven't seen maybe I've been missing it, but have you been doing that?
We back in May.
Okay, so you took the winter off. I get it. Okay.
Soho members are particular. There's certain times and temperatures they like to be outside. It's a certain
breed. Yes, I get it.
So we're gonna keep it cute. It'll be Tuesday mornings though. We're gonna do early. We're gonna do like 7:00 Tuesday mornings, because Soho members also like their weekends in the summertime. So it's meant to be social and fun, and honestly, in that space, just to connect people I love my creatives. I love my entrepreneurs. Like, outside of, the Black community and empowering them, I also love the people who serve other people. You know what I mean? Like, that is their work. I really feel creatives and entrepreneurs it's not even a consideration to take care of themselves and move their bodies outside of their work being their expression, and what they pour into. So it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I started a different business, if my business wasn't around running, like I would not make any time for myself at all. Let me ask you a question though. Do you have to be a Soho member to run with your club that you meet at Soho?
I say no, and I'm pushing for no. I think business wise,
you can meet them outside and just join. Okay.
That's it.
You can wait till they come out the front door.
Last year you didn't have to be a member. You could just pull up. And I think what I'm working with the team is, as far as, honestly, for them, membership, it would be a better service to them to have non-members join so they could see the experience of being a Soho member. So
I'm trying to see the benefit. I'm trying to see the benefits too, Soho.
Come through.
Right.
I'm trying to see the benefits too.
Mm-hmm.
But so what's the mileage for that?
So that'll be approximately 3 miles. We'll keep it simple. There'll be a walking route also. So about 1.5 mile walk. I know, especially as we get closer to marathon or deeper into marathon, there are a few marathon runners that show up, and they always use like our first 3 miles as like a warm up or just like a fun social moment. Then they go do their own thing. So it's definitely a variety. It's people who walk, which is nice. People who walk, people who are running their 7th marathon, that just want to get together. So it will be during the week. Like I said, though, I think it'll just lend better to all the other activities that happened on the weekends and training that happens on the weekend. So it'll be a nice little hump day breakup, which we like.
Okay. Well, I mean, hopefully I might come and join. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see. I like the idea that it is during the week. And I love that it's also including, it's encouraging creatives to be more active. I think that sometimes there can be like a gap where like the creatives and the people who are the entrepreneurs are like so in that space that like few work out, or there's like, there's a few that work out and then they don't really know each other. And of course, obviously it's personal working. Like you said, it's your time to do your thing. But like a lot of them probably don't, from my experience it's like, I feel kind of weird sometimes when I'm in Soho because it's like, I don't feel weird. I should say, I see that there's few people that are centered around fitness. And I think that there's just maybe what our goal is to just bridge that gap.
Yeah. The space is there. Like, I don't know. I think there is like, there's a space to be like, this is our time where we can just come together and move and get to know each other. It doesn't need to be so scary.
Yeah. So you did Hood to Coast and Speed Project?
I did.
When did you do Hood to Coast?
I did Hood to Coast in August and
last year.
Miles did you
last
run?
year? Like I think like around 18. So it wasn't crazy. And
of the 200, it's like it was 199 then too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I did Hood to Coast, it was with Lululemon. We had a team of 12. So we did 2 teams of 6 that split up the 199 miles. And it's the first relay race, overnight relay I've ever done. I found out about it. I was invited like 2.5 weeks before we left.
Oh my gosh. And you still ran 18 miles?
Yeah. So you could imagine how afterward my body was like,
excuse me?
What are you doing?
Right. Like, how dare you?
Don't forget who you
my
are.
body would have been like, no. I mean,
it was broken up, right?
You get through it. Obviously, you show up, you're there to rally, like you're part of the team. But yeah, like it's your body, I'm sure.
Body and mind. Like, so that's the first time I had run in pitch black, which I could not train for here in Chicago anywhere, and had a huge panic. Like we'd been running all day and I'm with people who run all the time. We had a great team. My first leg went up. I'm running like pitch black through the forest. There's in the whole course, there's been people out like, go this way, go that way. I go out there. There's no one out there. So I ran a mile down, was confused, wasn't really sure. I saw lights behind me. They went a different direction. And like we had like gotten into the gap where there weren't any runners around us anymore. So we were like closing whoever was ahead of us.
Yeah.
And I ran up and I looked behind me. I'm like, oh, they're not behind me anymore. And I'm like, wait, am I going? And I like psyched myself out. I like called my team. I'm like, where am I? I don't really know. I ran back. Some kid was on like a bench smoking a bowl. He was like, I saw people run that way. I'm like, this is where I die. This is it.
Right.
This is it. This is how it happens.
This is how it ends.
Oregon.
And then so I kept running through and I eventually made it to some like down through like this forest preserve onto the street. Some guy was outside like cheering people on. He's like, go that way, you're going great. And I saw this deer pop up out of nowhere. I was like, Mom, Dad, stop playing with me. I know this is you. Just carry me through the finish. And I came out of the woods looking like I was in terror. Like the team was so excited for me and I was just like in panic mode.
Right. Like, you don't understand. I thought I was lost. Okay. I did not know I was going in the right direction.
Did not know. But then after that, like my next leg was at dawn and it was dark, but I was comfortable. I was used to it. Yeah. And then my last leg was in the middle afternoon. It was the last leg of the entire race. That's where I definitely injured myself. It was uphill through a trail. Then it got into a road. Then it was down to like on a road onto the sand. And I'm like, just keep up with the girl in front of me. And she was running like 7:15s. And I was just like, just keep up with her. And my body was like, you haven't slept at all. Right. What are you doing?
Right. Like relax.
Yeah. And then my leg was just like, felt like it was dangling for like a month and a half.
Like 30 feet, Kayla. This is already 30 feet.
Jeez. Yeah. Wow. I mean, wow. Okay. So have you run a marathon then?
I have not.
So how many miles did you, okay. So you haven't ran a marathon, but then how many miles did you run for Speed Project?
Around 52.
So you've ran an ultra.
Yes.
But you ran a marathon, but you just blew past it.
This is my thing. Okay. Work with me here. Okay. So the 52 miles was split up over the course of 52 hours. So it wasn't like a straight run. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to a marathon, we were in the desert, which we'll get to, doing mile repeats.
Mm-hmm.
And during my second mile repeat, I was like, people do this for 26 miles. Like, it's of no interest to me. That's of no interest to me. A half marathon, I'm behind. But like the continued, like 26.
It's great. I mean, you kind of black out at some point. Like at some point, your body is moving and your soul and mind is just floating above your body, and you're observing it's everything.
Because Aaron figures out these weird ass loopholes too. Like he wants to do all of these long ass. He wants to run from Canada to Chicago, run to New York from Phillips, like do all of these things. But he was like, "Oh no, I'd never run a marathon. That's way too long for me." Like, bro, like,
okay.
Like, Bell the Bull is 90 miles. Bell the Bull is 90 miles. He was like, yeah, but, you're going to be on a bike.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, bro, you running, then you get on a bike. Then you go back to running. Like, I don't know how y'all do it.
And like this exchange, like the relay part of it, I really love. Love.
Yeah.
But it's cool because it's like, it's something for everybody. It makes sense because what you did with the Hood to Coast and the Speed Project is awesome. I can't wait to get my opportunity to experience those runs because it looks fun. I mean, what was in both situations, what was like the atmosphere of the team, of the crew? I'm assuming it was so like, wonderful and supportive.
Yeah. So Hood to Coast being the first relay I've done, overnight relay, was incredible for so many reasons. I feel like it was my like freshman year into like running, like, and being around people who like, and I know non-runners say this, but I am a runner, like real runners, like people who like really do all the marathons and show up all the things, which is me now, which is like cool to say. But I like came in as a person who felt like I only showed up for like, I did community runs and I hosted my summer run. And then I would transition to like lifting in the off season. And so being around people who knew each other from Lululemon and just in general from the run community and who were so supportive and so fun and looking to like have fun.
Right.
And everyone there was like, I mean, there was a couple of people who wanted to do like their own personal best and were testing times, but like, it was fun. Like there was no pressure felt. And the same was for the Speed Project, since we did it, we paid tribute to the original course, right? So Speed Project is from Santa Monica Pier. For those who aren't familiar, Santa Monica Pier to the Welcome to Vegas sign. It's 340 miles. That being said, 7th year they've done it. And when you sign up, there's 2 rules. 1, there's no rules, right? So the only objective is to get to Vegas as fast as you can. Mm-hmm. I'll come back to that. 2, no spectators. So the race is 100% self-supported. Cops are in on this. The official finish is you text the WhatsApp group when you're coming in. There's no bib, like there's no nothing. If something happens to you out there, it's on your team to help you.
A true unsanctioned race.
A true unsanctioned race.
On purpose.
On purpose. And it's to pay tribute to the spirit of runners having to be creative. And like the no spectators point is like to y'all to be in it together. So there's people, like there's different routes you can take. The OG route, which goes from Santa Monica through Death Valley to Vegas, which is the original course that they took from the first time they attempted to do this. Mm-hmm. There is I think it's called freestyle, which is you can do whatever you want. There's people who take power line roads, cut off 80 miles. There was a team this year that ran through a casino. Like there's no rules. And then you could do it solo. So there was 5 solo runners who started on Monday and did all 340 miles with their team, with their crew supporting them along the way.
How many days?
I think the first person came in Friday morning.
When did you come in?
So the team started Friday morning. So the solo started on Monday.
So they have a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. I was like, y'all must have been waiting. Like, I mean, did you have to stay there a couple extra days? Like, what is the process here?
We'll be back, y'all. We'll be back. Keep going. No, don't stop. Don't stop.
Yeah. You got it. You're doing great.
Jeez. Wow.
That's love. That's love. let's get into the street project because
Let's do it.
It's mad recent. It's mad love. Like you said, it's from Santa Monica to LA. There's so much hype behind it. There's brands there. There's run crews there. It's like the who's who of like cool ass road running. So
yeah. Can I just add though? Yeah, it's unsanctioned, but they got hosts. It's unsanctioned, but it's a hype. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's a cool ass run to do. And it's like, you got to be a cool person. Like, you got to be like, you have to understand that it's the cool part is the unsanctioned aspect of the raid, right? Because like, you know, Death Valley, that just seems like a lot. But I mean, there's still, you can watch the live on IG. And I just remember seeing a lot of like promotion for it. So it's a big deal.
Everyone is dope. Everyone was a vibe, and I was not prepared. I didn't know that. I like came in, I had no idea. And it was like, so.
It seemed like there was like inner riveries a little bit.
Let's talk about it. It was like
text messages being sent to each other. Like, so it was drama.
So the WhatsApp group.
Oh my God.
Is a closed group to Speed Project. I think it's each team gets like 2 people in it. So I wasn't in it. So I am not fully, I know of the drama that happens in any in competitive space. I wasn't tuned into all of it, but coming back to, as far as the vibe and the spirit and the energy of the Speed Project, it's like the dopest, like you said, the dopest runners, the who's, but like the culture and the spirit. So we had this all teams meeting. So Lululemon did it with a team of 6 women to celebrate the release of the Bliss Feel shoes, the first shoe for Lululemon that puts women first, that's designed for women by women. So we did the OG route with 6. Lululemon did it last year with 12 freestyle. So this is the first time we've done it as a brand, the OG way. And so we pulled up to the all runners meetup, which is just what we thought was a time you'd come in and you sit in this room. They talk about logistics, what to prepare for. Again, it's not a matter if, but when the cops pull you over, like all that stuff, because you can't be tailing with your RV. They're like, what are you doing? You have to, go ahead. And so we're thinking we're going to pull up to like, I don't know, like a town hall style meeting. What? We pulled into this RV style Fast and Furious back lot with a DJ. Someone's on the grill tailgating. People are on top of video on their RVs with drinks in their hands. I'm like, what? Where am I? Where am I? And I was glad I ever dressed for the occasion. We were going to dinner afterwards, where I came out looking at least semi-fly for the situation, trying to embarrass myself out here, embarrass us out here. I felt like I had to represent Chicago the right way.
Right.
So,
right.
But it was dope because there was so many, I mean, there was international crews there. So I think like Mexico and maybe Australia. That might be a stretch. I can't remember the other team. International crews there, like all ethnicities, all experiences. So when the hosts got on, which were 3 Black people, which was dope. I didn't expect that either. Not knowing, just like distance running, you don't know. Like you expect it's
right. Like where'd they find these niggas? Like
no, but for real. And he gets on. He was
and do
like,
they run? Okay.
And do they run? He's like, the guy got on and he goes, yo, in all my years, I have never seen the field. So it was 52 teams, I believe, 400 runners. He goes, I've never seen it look this diverse. And I mean, like all Black teams, mixed Black teams, team from NOLA team taking shots in between legs, like KRC is out there. Like it was just so dope. It was so dope. And I was just like, let's go. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay, the Lululemon shoes. If you heard us talking about this in our previous episodes, you'll know that Ian and I don't know anything about these new shoes, but they look cute. And when I saw you running in them, I was like, is she just putting them on and taking photos, or is she running in them? Because you said that you ran a lot. You said, 50 miles? That's a lot of miles.
Myself and all of my teammates were in the Lululemon shoes the entire time.
Wow.
The entire time. I didn't have one blister. No one came out injured. I think my teammates, one person got, I think, a blister more so from the heat than like a rub spot from the shoe. Mm-hmm. And granted, I don't have deep experience with shoes, Ian. You'd be helping me out with my shoes at Last Lap. So you're you're my expertise there. But that being said, I do know what feels good and what doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And to wear a shoe, I got the shoe 2 weeks before the race. So I only had 2 weeks to train in them. And to put a shoe on from the start that felt comfortable and supported, and then to run so many miles in them, and then the next day not wake up feeling like I can't walk, you like tiptoe, like, like none of that.
Wow.
That being said, like,
that was a true field test.
Yeah, straight up. And
True.
I mean, we went through different terrains. Like I was going through down loose rocks, on sand, on hot pavement. And I feel like the shoe, it's not a speed shoe. So I wouldn't, it's not a racing shoe. I wouldn't feel like it's, a marathon shoe. I'd have to try it. I wouldn't have to try it.
You ran 50 miles in them, though. You did run 50 miles in it, right? Right. Low-key, it should be. Right. But
as far as like I was able to come off my feet and I took my shoes off in between, put my slides on, got back into them.
Maybe this is a good question then. What is the longest distance you ran in one set in those shoes?
9 miles.
Okay.
No.
9 miles.
But it does speak to the fact that you was able to do, because mentally breaking up this 52 miles is different, right? It benefits you mentally break them up. But as far as your body goes,
it sucks.
It don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Especially within 24 hours and you kept going without stopping. That means that it's accumulating still. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So for you to be able to, at mile 18, mile 20, take your feet out of these shoes, let your feet expand, go back into those shoes and still be comfortable does, for me, who was an avid swoosh lover, like that speaks volumes to me, definitely.
What is the time in between each time you put your foot into your shoe? Like, how long were your breaks?
It depends, right? So that's actually where I have to credit our crew with our strategy because, again, there's no rules to this. So you can approach it however you want. So when you sign up and you commit to the OG course, for example, they give you a guidebook. And in the guidebook, it's broken up into 36 segments, which stop about 140 miles outside of Vegas. Because at that point, you're like, what can people actually do? So our original game plan, this was before we went up to the RV Fast and Furious, all runners meet up, was we'd split up the legs by difficulty by runner. So 1 through 6, everyone got, 6 legs that range from 6 to 8 miles.
Okay.
Each leg being 6 to 8 miles. After we left the runner meetup, we were at our team dinner. Our crew came up to us. We're like, okay, we had this, our original plan was to do segments. But after talking to people who've run the speed project, who just have more experience, that's going to be too much. You guys are going to be destroyed because someone could have 6 miles uphill, 6 miles flat, 6 miles through 100 degrees. So what we ended up doing was the first day we did 5K repeats through 6 of us.
Okay. And
then we kept that going into the night. Once the night came, in order to try to find some type of recovery, we were split into 2 groups of 3, would do 3 rounds of 5-mile repeats. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. To give the time to give the group that's awesome.
Smart.
I'm sorry, you said there was a group that was doing the repeats and then that group stopped and then a new group came in?
So at night it would be like, so if it's the 3 of us, we would do 3 5K repeats. I think it was 3 times.
Okay.
So that way we would just be cycling through, I don't know, what is it, 3, 9, 27, 30 miles, while the other group was sleeping. To give enough time for some recovery, and then the next group would go in. When we got back into the daytime, we went back to our 5K repeats, went through that. And then when we got to Death Valley, we did 1-mile repeats because it was just too hot. It was like 100 miles. I mean, 100 degrees.
Yeah.
So we did 1-mile repeats. And then the last night we broke it up one more time into those groups of 3, but one group had 4 people. Because we had registered 10 and we had another woman on our team. We had one on our support team help tag people out because they had like 17 miles of like uphill at like 2 a.m. So I woke up, or maybe it was like 11 at night. And so they were only doing like a couple meters at a time. And, and that's why I think it was great to see runner strength, right? We had a woman on our team who's just like a dog. And she just like ate that hill up. We have someone that runs trails a lot who just had a better stretch, and she got stuck in a stretch that was unsupported and had to do a trail by herself. And then once we got out of the night and up that uphill and down into Vegas, we just did like a couple miles at a time instead of doing those long segments.
Right.
That's a strategy. That is a strategy. Okay.
That the math gif was like E equals MC squared. That's what was happening.
That's y'all.
You were trying to, so that's not true, right? Like, that's where I think it was, it was helpful because all we had to focus on was like getting up and running. Like all the strategy and logistics our team took care of. And I think mentally that was so much more supportive to us as runners because we didn't have that additional tax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. I haven't taken tips. I'm not going to lie.
I'm going to be coming back to this podcast for myself and any future things that we do.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to pull from this because I think too, it's about visibility of the race. For many people watching your story, that was probably the first time they've seen the Speed Project. And so did you get a lot of questions from people on like how to sign up? Because let me tell you, Speed Project is really tricky. They do not, first of all, I don't even know if they have a social media account. No. They don't really advertise when you can sign up for the next year. Like Ian and I, our team, we've been looking. Is it, and we're trying to get the in, but what is it?
I honestly don't know because I got a phone call the second week of January and I recorded it because our head of North American running, Robbie, he did the same thing to me for Speed Project. He texted me Hood to Coast. He texted me, he goes, "Hey, do you have a minute?" Back in August. Sorry, there's vacuum my hallway. Does that interrupt? It's fine.
No,
okay, I can't hear it.
Cool. Yeah. So there's
I thought you was rolling your eyes at Robbie.
No, it's like it's a vacuum. I can hear it. So he texted me in the beginning of August. He was like, "Hey, do you have a minute?" I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And so I'm like, "Oh, it's like our head of running. Like, I'm going to pull over and talk to him really quick." And he asked me to do Hood to Coast, which I did not expect. Going into this year, when I was for Christmas, I was overseas and I was just like hanging out. I was like, I feel like Robbie's going to text me in the beginning. I just have this feeling.
Yeah.
And sure as hell, like, he texted me the second week of January. He's like, "What's up, Jeter? What are you up to? You got a minute to chat?" I was like, I already know what this is about. I already know. But I thought, because last year they had to move Speed Project to later in the year, I think, because of COVID. I didn't realize it was in March. And so when I first said yes, and I couldn't find information anywhere. I couldn't find it anywhere. Yeah. And that being said, there is an Instagram, but I don't know how people get invited. I don't know how you get onto I have no clue. But if I find out, I'm gonna let you know.
Since it is
I'm just gonna be texting their ass. I'm gonna be in their DM like,
hello,
hey, how you doing?
How many times do I need to ask for you to say yes?
But
what
it's
do
I
need to do?
Morning beautiful, Grand Rising.
I mean, not the Grand Rising.
The Grand Rising. But it's a vibe, right? Like you said, and I think showing, something I say a lot is like running looks different and it continues to grow and that continues to be the spirit of it. Like I said, I thought my sunglasses would be too much, but I put them on. I'm like, oh, this is the vibe. Like, this is it. Like,
it's a
runner Kayla has arrived. You know what I mean? And the girls I ran with were like, damn, I should have brought some cool shades. I was like, look, this is the Gary Jeter in me coming full force, and I am not ashamed or afraid. And we're going to have this braid and these sunglasses and just do it. That's it.
It was a power braid with the glasses. Yes. And I was like, oh, she's sending a message. Yeah. She's giving us an image. Okay.
I love it.
That picture with the braid that just floating in midair.
So that's actually a really interesting story in that area. I'm going to look up the name of that the space we ran through, because since it's an unsupported race and it's an unsanctioned, we run through some interesting neighborhoods, right? So this area is called Adelanto. It's in California. Their tagline is the city of unlimited possibilities, but the truth of that city is that it's in like a 10-mile, it's like in a close proximity to like 10 prisons. So, yeah, exactly. Right. So we get to Adelanto and they're like, all right, we're gonna have to run through this area. It's kind of rough, just be prepared. They're telling everyone. And then when I turn the run, they're like, Jeter, you got to run through Adelanto. I was like, this is wildly fitting. I feel like I'm the most appropriate person to run through this neighborhood as far as like familiarity, comfort, physical, just not really bothered. So before going
wait, where you from? Because you're not from Chicago. Where you from again?
I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
From Cleveland, Ohio.
Ohio, babe.
Grew up in Solon, which is a suburb. But that being said, I spent too much time in Kinsman, and now my mom and dad are around. I can say that out loud without them being upset.
But so then what suburb of what major? Because doesn't Ohio have like 4 major cities?
So I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, you said Cleveland. Okay, right.
Suburb of Cleveland called Solon.
Okay, yeah, because we connected on the fact that like my dad grew up in Cleveland and
same.
Boop bop bop. Yeah,
exactly. So like South Houston, Kinsman, I was down there way too much when I was supposed to be at my friend's Shelly house. I mean, we were together. We just weren't in Solon at all.
We said we was at. We were also like. We might have to start a Patreon because I need y'all to talk a little bit more about this meeting y'all had. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like that meeting between was it Martin Luther King, Malcolm X?
What? You see how he just be stretching truth? You see how he just be taking it and bringing it all the way over there? For no reason. What was being said
at this meeting between Kayla, Jen, and Courtney? But what the fuck was all
Look, she gave me a tour of the Lululemon in Hyde Park and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was great. I got to see all the photos. Like I'm a big supporter of everything that Lululemon is doing and the people that they're choosing to involve themselves with in the community and like taking your advice and like actual direction to make a difference. Because the fact that Lululemon is in Hyde Park is great. Because I guess are you leading runs out of that location?
Yeah, we're leading runs out of that location. And before they even put a store down there, we had a couple conversations with leadership, letting them know, like, if you're going to put a store down in Hyde Park, like who works there and what's happening out there has to reflect the community.
Yeah,
like, this can't be white savior complex come in and a field trip at the same point. You know what I mean? Like, how are we actually supporting, uplifting the neighborhood? And knowing that, that's another conversation around deservedness, worthiness, investing in yourself, and to see that space thrive. And I think that being well received by the community it feels good. You know what I mean? Because Black people, Black women, Black men, we deserve nice things. You know what I mean? Like, and it shouldn't be limited to location of a store.
Facts.
Yeah, I'm here for that. Let's take you back to Atlanta before we wrap up.
Oh yeah, okay.
I want to hear more about this story. You was talking about it at the Blue Bridge. The Blue Bridge. I was like, I want to hear this.
So I share this because yes, we had a great time. The smiles were authentic. I had a blast. I would do it again in a heartbeat. All of it.
What is this?
Speed Project. I would do it all over again.
Okay.
Right. I would do it all over again. That being said, like there are parts of it that you can't prepare for and can be kind of rattling if you've never been in those experiences. So Adelanto, we're running through it. It's sun starting to set. We're going through this neighborhood and jewelry has to come off. Someone's
Wait,
running
it's like
with
that? It's that serious?
Yeah.
Are they saying that? So when you said that there was prisons around there, it's because the city is known for crime. It's not because it's just where other cities ship their people to go to jail.
It's known for crime. It's
I think all of the above.
Because I feel like these are things. Because sometimes, like, they're just because there's jails around doesn't mean that they're the people doing the things.
Yeah,
I wouldn't run past 26 in California.
So I actually pulled this up. When was this written? This was back in 2017. It was updated. So Adelanto, their tagline is the city of unlimited possibilities. And the Huffington Post wrote an article about them and said, Adelanto, unlimited prison possibilities. So it's like, it's known as a rough neighborhood, and Speed Project has offered to come in and help and provide assistance. And just like, I don't know, we're running through your town. Like, we could at least give back. And they were like, nah, we're good. So I'm running with someone from our crew, someone from our male crew. He's carrying pepper spray. And I'm just like, hey, y'all, I can see one of my running friends. I'm waving to them. People are out on like porches. Like, it's Friday night. So people are outside doing their thing, lowrider cars. Yeah. I think that the most unsettling part, I think, was within the WhatsApp group, there's a lot of that's where the reports happen of people getting harassed, of stray dogs, of people on motorbikes. And so we were running through, we got a report of stray dogs, and ranging from Chihuahuas to pit bulls. And so we're getting towards the end of the city, and this big pit bull jumps down from the porch and starts pacing against the fence. And it's a low fence. Like, it's not like way high.
Yeah, if it wanted to,
if he could. And he jumps down, starts pacing against the fence, and you see the family on the porch going, "Good job." And I was like, if I get attacked by a pit bull running a fun run, I swear, like, I'm going to lose it. So we're running. We make it through the neighborhood unfazed. There was like 2 Chihuahuas that like came up like with big bad energy trying to do something. And we did check a few times. And we're turning this corner. And so the RV, the next exchange, is around this corner near the airplane graveyard. So it's like this place, it's like this long stretch of land where they store airplanes they're not currently using, it's really cool. Sun setting, so it's getting dark. And I see like this 4-wheeler come towards me and a 4-wheeler behind them. And this guy's like up on like popping a wheelie, like
doing 12 o'clock.
Yeah, like just having fun. We get to the exchange and our team looks rattled. We're like, what is happening? They're like, yo, these groups of 4-wheelers just try to hit 3 runners, like coming up like really close and like dodging them. And then we're just like, really? How are we about to run into the night now, knowing that there's people out here trying to hit people? So an exchange happens. We go to the next one. We're riding along, and that's what we're sleeping. We had to go through an area that was like super dark. It wasn't an unsupported area. So
no street lights,
7 miles. It was like a vision quest essentially at that point. 7 miles, they come out.
A vision quest.
Straight up. They came out so they come out, we exchange. I'm up again with another girl, and the road's called Yermo, and it's another dark, unlit road, but like a Jeep can be on it. So we're running along. I'm running first. And a Jeep comes up past up with the runner, like, "Hey, just be careful. There's a guy on a motocross bike with no lights on that's coming really close to runners." This is at like 2 a.m. And I'm like, great. So I'm running. I hear like one time the Jeep rev a little bit, and I stop and I kind of freak out. Like, is this it? So I'm like, our Jeep like drives up to me and stops to protect me. And I'm like, no, I think I'm good. So I'm driving. And then I do my leg. I switch to the next girl. She starts running. She's still going. And the motocross guy comes up. And he gets so close to our Jeep that like our driver said he could have put his hand out and touched him. And it's like stuff like that where you're sleep deprived, you're hungry, it's dark, your mind starts to really fuck with you. And that's, I think, what makes it the most challenging. But at some point, like knowing your crew is there, it makes it so fun. So fun.
Man. And this is in Nevada, or is this in California?
This is in California.
Okay, so like you're approaching the border or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I love it.
Sounds
gritty, it's
like
fun.
an adventure.
It is an adventure.
Yeah, no, go sign up for a speed project, everybody.
When you get an invite, I feel like you're like waiting on the golden ticket.
Right. They're like, "You're not cool enough yet. We'll see you next year." We're getting in.
They're definitely cool enough.
We're definitely getting in. We're going to figure it out. So I have one last question for you. You like to read books. You do a lot of morning pages. What do you do you have any suggestions top of mind of like current reads or past reads that you really love, or like even podcasts or just things that motivate you in the morning, since you do wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning? Yeah. 2 questions, recommendations. Okay. And also, please, I want to know what your morning routine is.
Okay. Recommendations. First book that came to mind is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. It is a great book about owning the ideas and passions that come to your heart, and then having it be your responsibility to put them out into the world. And what can happen if you don't act on them? They go to someone else, their ideas, which I thought was really, really powerful. Podcasts. I love Brene Brown. I think her work in shame and vulnerability is really powerful. So Dare to Lead. And then Lovey Ajayi Jones. She does a podcast with, or a couple episodes with, I'm blanking on her name also, actually. Dang. I'm gonna have to come back to that one. But Lovey Ajayi Jones in general, she's a best-selling New York Times author about disrupting just normalcy in general. She has a lot of really great things to say about like putting an exclamation point on your life. Like, not I'm a runner, but like I'm a runner, like owning who you are and finding pride in that.
Yeah. I love that.
Morning routine. I'm playing with it right now.
Okay. I feel like we have to play with it all the time.
Yeah.
It's never like, it's more like, what is your thing currently? Because I think just for anyone who doesn't know, because I think that it's so like on social media, we talk about these things so much where it's like successful people do these things, but it's like, no, successful people do things and then make adjustments and then like figure out what's best for them in the moment.
So right now it's still waking up early. It's not 5 o'clock anymore. I've had too much in my day. I've realized to like burn the candle at both ends. So 6 o'clock feels good.
Right.
That's where I've been at.
Yeah. 6 o'clock feels good. And then I always get in some type of movement, whether it's, especially now it's getting warmer in the morning and light in the morning, go for a run or go to the gym. And then honestly, like 15 minutes of just sitting quietly, whether it's journaling and the journaling, just like reflecting on the morning I just had, or just like sitting quietly, like silence has become really important in my morning routine. Then I get my day started. Pretty short.
She makes it seem so simple, but when you see her on social media, it'd be like an elaborate thing. I'm like, wow, you've done all these things already?
Right.
Jeez.
And
but also thank you. Thank you very much.
I've been doing all things. Yeah.
You know, you helping us all out.
Awesome.
Well, I mean, thank you. I'm looking at Ian like, do you have anything? I'm trying to like.
No, listen, I've been writing questions as you talk, and then like you keep talking and then you answer them, and I'll be like, okay, well, yeah, I have 0 questions.
He's left with nothing.
I'll just make comments and commentary this entire time because you explain things very well. Thank you very much. You explain them in a way where people who don't know now know.
Well, right. I appreciate this opportunity because I've been like unpacking and digesting Speed Project since it ended. 2 weeks ago, and I haven't really had time to even still like emotionally work through it because it feels like we're so quick to jump to the next thing. So having a space like this just to talk about it and be like, that was dope. And not only was it dope, but like I did it. And not only did I did it, but like I was a Black woman out here doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so much bigger than me. And I'm grateful for the opportunity. And I love people that were like, what the hell did you just do? Like what? Right. And I'm like, hey, we could do it. Like we can do it.
I mean, it has to be an experience. I mean, it has to be. I feel like when Aaron, did the escape to Chicago, like he came back different. Like as far as an athlete and his, journey, like he came back like really like his mind was just like resetting. Yeah. Just really ready to go, being able to push your limit and do something that's outside of your norm.
Right. That's what this life's about.
I love that. What do you have? What's planned next? What do you have coming up next?
Wait, hold on. Because I want to know what's next too. I want to know if you are running things, but it just occurred to me. What are like the top 3 things that you would suggest for any like long relay teamed race experience? Ooh. Like what were the things you feel like you could not live without or you wish you had?
Okay. As far as preparation goes, the training, like the complement of, which should surprise no one, of strength training, but not for weight, but for functionality and really developing the lower extremities in a way that supported a continued effort and like an intentional thing behind it, not just like doing a couple calf raises a week, like to the point where I was waking up like, damn, I really don't want to train. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but knowing you have to go in. So the strength training, the time on your feet, I focus less on mileage and more on time. So my runs were structured by like 30 minutes, 45, 90. 90 was the longest run that I did. And then within that, each of those runs, I would do speed play. So it wasn't just like 90 minutes of running. It was like 10 minutes easy, 5 minutes of strides, 8 minutes of, on like sprints to walk. So having fun to break up that time to keep it interesting. What else would I suggest? What I didn't have.
But what about like in the RV? I saw you had the boots. I saw you had the recovery thing. What about food?
Okay. So we were spoiled and I heard there were some conversations about it, which I think are just more feelings that they didn't think this far ahead. We had a massage therapist, which I think was game changing.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Add that to the list.
Melissa from Escape to Shy group. She's up in Toronto. She was just to have someone to like rub out your calves and like your glutes was great. The boots were fantastic. We had the Hyperice, Hypervolt guns. Food was tough just because like you're not really hungry. Like you're hungry in between, but it's hot and then you're going to run. So I would suggest what you should do. We made 2 big stops. The van was packed with like recovery stuff, fruit, bananas, bars, that stuff. But go back to the turkey sandwich or the lunch sandwich that really carried you in elementary school. We each got like 2 footlongs and we just rationed those over the course of like, we got one in the beginning, we rationed that. We got another one later on in the trip. And it was money. And make sure someone knows how to work the bathroom and the RV as far as dumping it, because that needs to happen.
Wow. Yeah. See,
this podcast isn't long enough, but yeah. Those are logistics we didn't have to deal with, but we later learned was a whole situation because you can't just dump it anywhere. There's certain dumping sites and certain things you can put down there. And it's just hey, I'm a real wilderness girl, essentially, is what I'm getting at.
Notes taken.
Yes.
Okay, so now, what are you doing? Are you training for the Chicago half? Did can we convince you to run a marathon?
So I am doing the half. I haven't really said it anywhere because I don't want to put fanfare around it, but I am running the Chicago half. I'm doing a 10K in Cleveland, which I'm super excited about. So I'm doing the 10K, I'm doing the half. And then honestly, I'm just staying ready for if Robbie calls me again. Like I'm getting what you need to be doing. I'm getting ahead of any potential crazy runs that come up. I just saw so that's my goal, just to continue like building mileage and feeling strong. But that's it for right now. I'm going to go support the Berlin Marathon. Keyword being support.
Wow. Okay. So, she's a traveling babe. She also went to Abu Dhabi, I believe, for her birthday.
Yeah. I was there for USA Volleyball coaching. So yeah.
Oh, you're coaching.
Yeah, I was there for coaching and then I stayed.
See, that ain't what your story said.
Right, that is not what your story said. I said, babes took a whole flight and said, I'll see you later. I'm on a different time zone, other side of the world. See you when I get back.
That too. So yeah, if y'all have any suggestions for run crews overseas, I'm going to London next week. So if you know anyone internationally, let me know. I'll be in London, Amsterdam, and Paris. So
yeah, well, Berlin definitely has a couple. I'll send you a couple DMs.
Hey, we love that.
That's all I got, Ian. What about you?
That's it. I'm enjoying it. That was fun. That was nice. Oh. I liked it. I can't wait. You got me super excited for the speed project. I can't wait to experience it for myself and my running family. Where can people follow Ms. Kayla Jeter?
Okay, so I'm mostly on Instagram at Fit in Full by Kayla. I'm trying to do the TikTok thing. It's the same Fit in Full by Kayla, but TikTok is just, I don't understand it. And then I am on Twitter at Kayla Jeter _. So I want to thank y'all so much for this opportunity to chat with y'all and share my story and just keep sharing running and broadening what it looks like, because there's so much out there and I really appreciate it. I appreciate what y'all are doing.
Well, you'll definitely hear from us again. We'll definitely want you to come back on because we love seeing you just continue to explore the sport and motivate us. So thank you for making your debut here.
Yeah, truly. Thank you.
If anything, see you next time.
I want to have a bigger conversation around, training as an athlete.
Yes. Let's get into that.
Mechanics and movement and stuff like that. I've had conversations with you one-off about certain things, about mobility and things like that. So I want you to get a little nerdy the next time you come on and stuff like that, and share all of that with us, because we trying to build bodies of athletes, and we trying to achieve these goals. There's so many people in the community who are truly, they've gotten past the threshold of, these are new experiences. These are things that we're trying now. A lot of our runners and friends are like trying to PR. They're trying to progress and stuff like that. And it does. It takes a higher level of training and dedication.
Yeah.
And there's something I'm learning right now. So I want to kind of talk to you through that. So you're going to come back real soon.
Well, you know where to find me. Just tap me.
Thanks, Kayla.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all. Talk
Bye.
soon. Bye.
Okay. And that was our conversation with Kayla Jeter.
I love it. I'm like legitimately digesting it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It felt really good. It felt really good. The street project sounds like so much fun. I'm kind of jealous. I can't even sound like, oh God, I wish I was there.
Yeah, when I do it, I want like her to be there. Like I want, I want us all to be there. I want Love 7 on Sundays. I want Gumbo Fit. I want Lululemon. I want all the peoples. I want to be surrounded by like people we know when we do it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be, yes, we will be doing these runs pretty much together. 2 RVs, bussing, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. No, we're gonna track down. We'll track down the people in charge of the speed project and make sure that our teams are there next year. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, keep a lookout. And now that we have reached the end of our podcast episode, what does your card say?
What does my card say? You want to read the card?
You thought I forgot.
Let's go. Yeah. So, okay. So the first is, y'all just have no idea how much I'm enjoying this relationship. It's amazing. But let's see. It says, happy birthday to my forever by my side guy. It says, this is hilarious. A guy who works hard and plays that way too. A guy I can count on to know what to do. A guy with a heart as warm as a smile. A guy who will go about 10 extra miles.
Wow.
A guy who, yes, right. A guy who's as gentle and strong as could be. A guy who's the best thing of all here with me. And this is probably gonna be the last card I ever get because I'm gonna read the little blurb that she put in here.
She said no more. You be sharing too much.
It says, so in the store, this card seemed like a good idea, but as I was looking at it more closely, I'm not really sure what's going on here. Anyway, the card spoke to me. Anyway, the card spoke to me. I wish the dogs were black labs, but whatever. Bottom line is, you're my forever guy, and I'm forever grateful for our love. Karen, you're a puzzle piece.
Wow, that is love.
Mm-hmm.
That is love. That's runner's love.
Oh my God. Right. She had me at 10 extra miles. I was like, baby.
Blossoming right in front of you. Okay.
Baby.
Yes. Wow.
10 30 extra miles for your ass.
For you, right? Yeah, wow.
Yes, that was caking with the Runners Club.
Yo, send in your caking notes, your caking emails.
Yes.
Your inputs. When, if you found your running bay and you still with that running bay, we want to know about it.
I got a question for y'all. What is the dopest thing your running bay has done for you? Either on a run or outside of a run, but what's that fire thing? Shout out your running bay.
Yeah. Yep. Just please. runnersclub773@gmail.com.
Oh yeah, that's what you sent it. My bad. I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot what you sent it.
I'm like, there's something missing here.
You know what I'm saying? Drop it in 7 on Sunday.
Yeah, right. I don't care. DM us if you really want to. Just get it. We want to know.
The episodes are populating on YouTube. We got the first season almost up there, and then you will be seeing the videos from our last 3 episodes really soon. And so go there, like, subscribe, make it happen. I know a lot of y'all are still working from home, so you got 2 screens already. Throw us up on one of them while you pretending like you're paying attention into the Zoom meeting. Keep the mic on mute. You feel me? And get these miles. Keep training. Keep going. We're gonna see y'all at the half. 7 on Sundays will be there cheering for you. We are getting our equipment for the cheer sections. We are slowly leveling up the Scream Tunnel. So that will be in full effect. Follow us at 7 on Sundays to see where the Scream Tunnel, the half marathon Scream Tunnel will be, because we bringing the energy. That's where you're going to get the refuel, the extra power up to finish the rest of that run. So,
and there you have it, folks. We'll see you next time. This is the Runners Club podcast. We out.
Peace.